Welcome back to another segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright presented by First Star Logistics. On this segment, we're going to be discussing why I think Justin Fields can have a potential MVP-like season, Malik. I think he can. And before you say anything, I'm not saying he's going to win MVP. I just think Justin Fields is going to break out this year. And here's why, right? The reason why I'm not saying fully MVP is because you need the team to win 12 plus games. You need your team to win the division. You need your team to win 13 plus games. I don't think the Bears are there yet, right? They made a lot of offseason acquisitions, bolstered the offensive line, added Darnell Mooney, added some pieces to the defense, but they've still got some holes. And, Justin Fields, though, is going to really show up, and he's really going to show out this year. You look at what he did in the preseason, right? Their ability with the new offense coordinator to shift them from not just playing outside of the structure, but going towards a more, Patrick Mahomes-esque offense to where, all right, give him the easy plays, give him the let his receivers go, right? Quick screens, quick slants, put your guys in motion, end arounds. That's what we're going to see a lot of with the Chicago Bears offense. We saw last year, where did Justin Fields struggle the most? It was him not having a clean pocket and him having to make plays outside of the structure. So what we're going to see a lot of Justin Fields is we're still going to see him use his legs, right? We saw Jalen Hurts do the same thing. We've seen Lamar Jackson do the same thing. Justin Fields, and I hate how people use this against him, how he runs so much. He's going to use that to his benefit because he is going to be able to still have the legs under him. And yes, he's obviously an injury concern because he's a running quarterback, but we're going to see him take extra strides because of the way they're building that offense. So I look at how they're building it. They added talent at the receiver position. They added talent at the running back position. So I think Justin Fields, his rushing ability, along with an improved offense, is going to show him into that not upper echelon of quarterbacks, but I think by the end of the season, he will be a borderline top 10 quarterback, and he is going to show up with the numbers this year. I think he can rush for over 1,000 yards again. So,
yeah, I don't think that he's gonna have an MVP like season. I think he can have a better season, but I think in large part of this, their offensive coordinator Luke Getsky. This is his second year going to be his offensive coordinator. As the Bears head coach, as the Bears offensive coordinator, I'm not impressed by him. Yep. I'm not impressed with what he brings to the table. Sure, you add a talent like DJ Moore, but if you have a play caller who, guess what, you can't have faith in to call the correct plays, then guess what? This team won't have a lot of success, in my honest opinion. I feel like we're all hoping, we're all praying on a shooting star that with a new addition of Darnell Wright and the improved offensive line, we can see this Bears football team take the next step. Listen, we're in Ohio, and I realize there's a lot of Ohio State bias going on. To talk about Justin Fields as a potential MVP-like season would require Justin Fields actually improving as a passer, no doubt, which I fully expect, but there were a lot of duds in their last year for me. That it's almost like I'm from the show me state. You got to show me that you're about that. You got to show me that you are capable of this. I don't care if you add a talent like DJ Moore. That's not enough to move me. It's not enough to move me. I need to see it from CJ Stroud. I need to see it from Justin Fields. This is not college football. Yep. This is going to be one of the things where you could just run a spread offense and Justin Fields could then run around and throw deep to the ridiculous amount of receivers that he had at Ohio State, like Jackson Smith and Jigba and all those other receivers that he had to throw with. Guess what? I just don't see that with the Bears. A lot of people are ready to crown the Bears, and I think it's super disrespectful. Let me just start off by saying this. I think it's super disrespectful that people are talking about the Bears winning their division, that people are talking about the Lions winning their division, and there's no mention of the Minnesota Vikings. Let's just talk. There's no mention of the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are the most battle-tested team in that entire division. Yep. Dan Campbell, guess what? Feel good. Everybody's like, this is the year Dan Campbell's going to finally break through, yada, yada, yada. His team looks so great on paper. He's a great coach. He's a leader of men. People believe in him. Then guess what? Oh, Justin Fields is going to have an MVP-like season. Justin Fields is going to break out. Show me something that will have substance, right? Because what people are banking on, and yeah, I'm talking about our producer, Marissa, and I'm talking about you. Yeah. And just the general public, what we're banking on is potential with Dan Campbell putting it all together, potential with Justin Fields putting it all together. And guess what? Yeah. The Minnesota Vikings are sitting there like, hey, guys, look at us. We've been there. We've been the team that has won the division. We've been the team that has put up numbers each year. Yeah. So for me, I get the feel-good story. Justin Fields is going to bounce, but let's talk about it really.
Yeah.
If the coach and the GM are finally just now getting around to the idea of Justin Fields being their guy, right? Let's talk about it. That's a fact. They weren't sold on him last year. He had to make them sold on him because guess what? He showed them that, hey, I could work with nothing. I could make something happen with nothing. So they said, okay, so we're going to add to that. So for me, I don't know. I saw what their offensive coordinator put out on the field last year, was not impressed by it. I think Justin Fields can make strides, but this astronomical leap that we're expecting him to make from rookie year to second year, sophomore slump is a real thing. Let's just start about that. Also want to remind people, the more games you play in the National Football League, the more film that's out there on you.
Yep.
So the more film that's going to be out there on a guy like Justin Fields. So all these Ohio State bandwagon fans and Ohio State lovers that are saying Justin Fields is finally going to break through this year, what merit do you have to stand on? What did he put on the field last year that made you comfortable to say Justin Fields is going to be like an MVP like caliber football player this year?
Yeah,
he did nothing. I
think that's completely disrespectful.
He did nothing.
I think that's completely disrespectful.
Well, disrespectful or not, facts are facts.
Yeah, but if we're actually talking about it, you can say he may not have an MVP like season, sure.
I'm just going off of what you said.
No, but what I'm saying, you said he did nothing. He rushed for 1,100 yards.
That's cool, bro.
It's not just it's cool. Listen,
it's cool.
But no, listen, we talk about all these other quarterbacks, right? Patrick Mahomes makes plays outside of the structure. Joe Burrow makes plays outside of the structure. Josh Allen makes plays outside of the structure. But when Justin Fields does it, it's not good. That's nothing. So I get the point. And listen,
wait, run that back. Say that one more time, what you just said to me.
I said we make all these big accusations about, okay, Patrick Mahomes is able to make plays outside of the structure. Josh Allen able to make plays outside of the structure. Joe Burrow able to make plays outside of the structure.
So let me stop you right there. Nowhere near on the level of those guys.
No, but the point,
nowhere near on the level of those
you're missing
guys.
the point.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
you just compared them to Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Let me explain something to you. Different tiers.
No.
Different tiers.
Listen.
Because guess what? To compare him to those guys is comparing him to MVP like caliber players. Justin Fields is not that guy.
But the difference is I'm not comparing them. I'm comparing the playmaking. I think Justin Fields is probably, he makes more plays with his legs than all three of those quarterbacks.
But he doesn't. They don't. But guess what? No. Guess what? They don't need to, because they actually have an offensive identity. So what you're banking on this year is that, guess what? Their offense is going to have an identity. Remember, the Chicago Bears, things are breaking down last year. This guy was running outside the pocket and running for his life. That's why he rushed for 1,100 yards. Not like it was some design stuff like, Justin Fields is going to rush.
That's the thing.
For
it's
11
not design.
But, and that's what I'm saying to you, though, is like we just think that because you go out there and you add DJ Moore to this football team, he's immediate. Because guess what? What you're saying, he can rush for 1,100 yards this year. He can rush for 1,200 yards this year. He can rush for 1,300 yards this year. What I'm saying is, at some point, his ability as a passer is going to have to catch up with his ability to make plays on the run. That's all I'm saying. Because if not, then we're looking at a Lamar Jackson situation all over again.
But Lamar Jackson won an MVP.
But Lamar Jackson's a better passer than Justin Fields.
I agree. But once again, this is the point I'm trying to make. I don't think Justin Fields is the player Lamar Jackson is. But that's the pathway. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. That was the pathway, right? And the final point I'll make is, once again, I don't think the Bears are fully there yet. But when you look at the leap that Jalen Hurts made, right? The year before last year, they made the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. They got crushed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jalen Hurts had made a lot of mistakes, but that was without A.J. Brown. The Chicago Bears, I don't think DJ Moore is anywhere close to A.J. Brown, but I think the additions they made is going to have us see a little bit more of a jump, which is why I don't think he'll be an MVP, but I think the Bears 1,000% can win 9 games. And if they win 9 games,
you said you can have an MVP like season.
I think he can be right there on the cusp. I think that this year he can be right there.
Going to the likes of Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool,
DJ Moore, I think we're going to see a hell of a lot better than he did last year. A hell of a lot.
And guess what? That I can get behind that. I can get behind us seeing an improved version of Justin Fields. I can't get behind these fairy tale, fairy tale assumptions that Justin Fields is going to be an MVP like caliber player this year, that he's automatically just going to find himself in the wishing well and be able to throw for 4,000 yards as a passer or 3,800 yards as a passer and throw for 30 touchdowns. I don't see that in his future. I don't see that this year. Maybe next year, sure. We'll see. I need Luke Getsky, the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, to form some semblance of an offensive identity.
Yep.
Let's put our biases, not you, let's put our biases aside and let's look at the facts. The facts of the matter is Justin Fields left a lot to be desired, but it's also because his offensive situation left a lot to be desired as well, in my honest opinion.
And so, just to add to your point, the final thing that I'll say is if because you got to look at it when they add a star receiver, when they add a star offensive line, when they add a great offensive coordinator, that's when we see the guys like the Jalen Hurts, the Lamar Jackson, the Josh Allen take the leaps. I think if Justin Fields had the situation like they do, I think we can see him be an MVP this year. He doesn't. DJ Moore is not a true star number one receiver. Their offensive line isn't a top 10 offensive line, which is why I think we'll see a little bit of a progression. And then next offseason, they need to get a top 10 offensive line, and I think they need to add one more receiver.
This is a completely off-the-rip moment on the show. Marissa, you're smiling back there as a Justin Fields lover. I know we don't have a mic on you, but tell us, why are you're making faces when Daniel just said DJ Moore is not a
she
prolific
can come sit
wide
in the
receiver.
Chair right here if you want real quick.
No. We don't want that. But I gotta ask, why do you seem to be, so in disagreement as to what Daniel is saying or what I'm saying?
No, there's really no disagreement there with that aspect. There's more just like DJ Moore. He's going to elevate the offense a lot more than what Darnell Mooney did as the quote unquote number one. DJ Moore's going to attract a lot more number one quarterbacks than Darnell Mooney did.
Mm-hmm.
You take that pressure off. You divide that between now DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney, and I think that takes the pressure off of Justin Fields as a passer and makes him feel a lot more comfortable to what he had at Ohio State when he had the duo of Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson.
Nowhere near on the level of those guys. But I will say, I'm just being honest with you. I'm sorry, the speed that Ohio State football team had was insane. All I'm going to say is, and I respect your opinion, what you're saying, that your bias is showing again, but I'll just say this. I think that the factor we're not talking about is when you're in a situation, you're the quarterback of a football team and you're used to getting that much pressure put on you, it's very hard to escape those demons, especially where you're not used to functioning behind a capable offensive line. So you have to wonder, will Justin Fields go back to his instinct of running if situations break down or if the pocket starts to get tighter and tighter? Those are real questions that I think we need to ask ourselves. But I just think this fairy tale thought process of, DJ Moore is going to be just like Chris Olave or just like in Jacksonville or all these different receivers he had at Ohio State. That's ridiculous. That's just my thought process.
Yeah, and that's where you're right in the situation of, you look at the Bears situation. All I'm going to say is, I think if the Bears offense coordinator, like you said, that's what it comes down to. Can they build a system around him to make the quick passes, get the quick screens, get him in a rhythm early, get him outside of the pocket, and make life easy on Justin Fields? Because every quarterback that followed the same trajectory, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I'm sure there's a couple more, their situations, even Trevor Lawrence last year, their situations made it a lot easier on the quarterback. And you better But Trevor Lawrence took the next step when they added a former Super Bowl winning coach, Doug Peterson, who's used to working with quarterbacks and getting the most out of them. We're talking about a defensive coach. So by default already, you're dealing with a coach that's going to be conservative, because that's where most defensive coordinators in the National Football League, unless your name is Brandon Staley, they tend to be more conservative. They tend to be more, protect the football, don't put us in bad situations, yada, yada, yada. And that situation that I think we could see all over again. If you remember, Matt Eberflus, he was in a situation where he wanted to play Andy Dalton, last year because Andy Dalton's game style. So I also think that you need a coach that's tailor-made for Justin Fields' skill set to be able to get the most out of him. And I don't think he has that currently in Chicago. I just don't think he has that currently in Chicago. But you know what? Sure, let's play the world. Let's play the role that he does have that. And Matt Eberflus all of a sudden this year is the most gung-ho
coach and ready to have an offensive explosion, sure, let's play that game. I don't think he is. I think he's going to be a defensive-minded coach. He's going to protect the football. He's going to punt the ball when he should go for it, or go for it when he should punt the football in situations that don't make sense. It's the reason why in the National Football League, you typically see when you draft a young quarterback, you like to pair him with an offensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
I just think it just does a disservice. News to NFL GMs, if you're planning to draft a young quarterback, pair him with an offensive coach, someone he can actually grow with. Not a coordinator that if you have a good year is going to be out the door looking for a head coaching job because there's no sense of development there.
Malik, and I know I keep saying this. The last thing I'm going to say is there is an actual rubric to building up quarterbacks. You can look at their talent and say that's the reason why they're successful. Very far and few between. Trevor Lawrence had flaws, still has flaws. Jalen Hurts had flaws, still has flaws. Josh Allen has flaws. Patrick Mahomes, the list goes on. Why were they successful? You pair them with a great head coach. You give them a nice system, build their offensive line, give them weapons around them, and build their system to make it quick and easy on them. Because at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence, he could have a terrible career if he didn't have Doug Peterson. He could. Jalen Hurts, same thing.
100%. He had Urban Meyer, another Ohio State failure. That didn't work out. The fact of the matter is, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But even to the point, let's talk about the Josh Allen situation. He was matched with a perfect situation and an offensive coordinator and Brian Dable, who was able to get the most out of him. Brian Dable leaves. When Brian Dable was there, was able to cut Josh Allen's turnovers by a significant margin.
Then
People said that was a fluke.
Stephon Diggs.
Then you add Stephon Diggs, takes the team to a different level. Once again, turnovers get cut down. Brian Dable becomes a head coach. What happens? Daniel Jones, who all he did was turn over the football. His turnovers immediately go down. Josh Allen's turnovers go up. Because guess what? No two offensive coordinators are alike, which is why I say that if you have an ability to have a game-changing offensive coordinator or bring in a game-changing offensive coordinator to make him your head coach, especially if you know you have a top pick or especially you know you're going to draft a young quarterback, it is in your best interest to try to pair that young quarterback with that offensive-minded coach. I never think pairing a defensive-minded coach with a young quarterback is going to work out because they don't speak the same language. They just don't. And you want to build confidence. And guess what? An offensive-minded head coach and a quarterback can grow with each other. That's just my thought process. My 2 cents, Daniel.
Yeah, I agree. So if you like more content like this, make sure you guys click the like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also turn on post notifications when we go live in the First Star Logistics studio.